I don't know if I've ever seen Twitter this insane. With the whole Ludwig event, everybody's losing their mind over this Ludwig event. All right, I'm gonna react to Ludwig's video that he posted today. A lot of people are angry about it, and also angry about the event. So it's kind of like compounding. Look at this video that he posted today. Mogul male GDQ is in big trouble. First of all, I don't think Ludwig realizes the extent of problems that he is causing for himself. The extent of trouble that Ludwig is putting himself in. He doesn't realize how sensitive and gatekeepy the speedrunning community is with this kind of stuff. Like he's going all in, bro. He doesn't realize what he's doing. But yeah.
May 16th, 2018 is the day that I started streaming, which makes this week my official 6-year anniversary. It's also my longest running job ever. It doesn't help that I got fired from my other jobs, but still, 6 years is a long time at any job, much less a streaming YouTube job where most careers start and die within 10 years, if you're lucky. And it's made me a bit nostalgic. Like I'm looking back on what got me into streaming in the first place. A lot of people know that I started streaming because of Super Smash Bros, but I started watching years before that. In high school, actually, like 10 years ago in 2014, when I found an event called AGDQ. Dude, the speedrunning charity marathon event, I love that shit. I'd watch it after school every single day. It was the only time of the year my mom would let me order Domino's pizza. I'd go a little fucking crazy, get some cheesy bread. I'd house that shit while watching people like Narcissus, Speedrun Ocarina of Time, Siglemix, Super Mario 64, and all the fun cringe moments in between. And GDQ, by the way, is still a thing. It's bigger than ever. It's amazing. They raised like over $45 million in their career. Every event raises like $2.5 million. They have thousands and thousands of people showing up live, hundreds and hundreds of different competitors. But I kind of miss when it was like smaller, cozier feeling. And I thought to myself, well, shit, I got a kick-ass team here at Offbrand. I'm friends with a lot of amazing speedrun creators. What if...
Notice he said speedrun creators. Just remember that, all right?
If I make my own charity speedrunning marathon event? So that's exactly what we did.
As a mother.
Notice that he also said charity speedrun marathon event. And I think this is why people have issues. This is where the confusion always comes into play every time there's speedrun drama around events. He said that he's friends with speedrun creators. And then he says that this is why he wants to run a speedrun charity marathon event. The problem is, speedrun creators are not, this is not the same thing as a speedrunner. They're different things. And people on Twitter that are complaining are under the assumption that this event was supposed to be, or is supposed to be, a speedrunners event, where speedrunners are invited to do speedrun stuff and raise money for charity. I think people are assuming that this is going to be another GDQ event, but hosted by Ludwig, with a different name. But notice that Ludwig said that he's friends with speedrun creators, not speedrunners. Speedrun creators are people who have speedrun in the past or have speedrunned at least a few times in their life, but doesn't mean that they're actively speedrunning, like doing RTA speedruns on a regular basis, or are professional speedrunners or top speedrunners in any way, shape, or form. People like, you know, a lot of the people that we know of, that we can think of that are speedrun creators, like people like Virtual and Small Ant, Point Crow, all these people, ZFG, who are not currently RTA speedrunners, but maybe have in the past. Well, ZFG not really, because ZFG is still amazing at OT and has world records. But they do content that revolves around speedrunning. Those are speedrun creators. And those are the people that Ludwig knows, right? And this is where the complication is coming. but let's keep watching.
I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
Oh, is that the world record?
First of all, ZFG's profile picture, who's that? All right, let's see who we have here, right? Notice it says and more in the bottom, by the way, but let's see what we have here. We have visuals. Visuals is actually not a very popular, not insanely popular. He is known, I think, for Hollow Knight and all these like interesting 2D kind of games. We have Stans. I still don't really know what Stans does. I think he's just a content guy. Some of these people are just obviously like friends of Ludwig that are going to help run a fun event. Because like, duh. Like, why wouldn't he invite people that he's friends with, that he knows are good and entertaining, that would help run a successful event? I think it's only obvious that Ludwig is going to do that, right? Point Crow. Everyone knows Point Crow. I don't know how active Point Crow is in RTA speedrunning or in top level speedrunning. But again, he's a speedrun creator, which is, like I said, a slightly different thing, right? We have Moist Critical. Is he a speedrunner? Not really. Does he do speedrun content? He has in the past. He has supported speedrun and ran his Moist Critical like tournaments and bounties or whatever. He watches and supports speedrunning, obviously. Alpahard. I don't know who that is. Alpha Rad. I'm not sure who that is. Grand Pooh Bear. Grand Pooh Bear is a speedrun creator. He's not really a speedrunner. Well, yes, he's a speedrunner, but I don't know how much speedrunning he does actively right now, like I said. But I mean, he's been a speedrunner for his entire career in streaming, right? Easy Peasy is a speed. I know about Easy Peasy. I don't know who Doug is. I know Coney, but I don't know what he does. I don't think is he a speedrunner? Don't know. But anyway, the point I'm trying to get is there's a lot of creators here, right? A lot of popular people that is friends with Ludwig, which only makes sense, right? CFG, speedrunner. Danny B is a hardcore speed. Danny B, not a very, very popular guy, but Danny B is very good at very interesting things in OOT and any percent and all these kind of interesting categories. So clearly some research was done because Ludwig, it's possible, the fact that Danny B is even on this list shows that there was some research done here, because there's so many people that are more popular than Danny B who could have been here. But Danny B is here probably because he's very good at OOT knowledge and categories that CFG, for example, would otherwise not do. So he's a good person to have to kind of like teach people about these weird, intricate things about a game like OOT, right? CJ, he's a speedrunner. Liam, Aggie is known for he's a big guy in the Elden Ring, Dark Souls community, Sekiro, that kind of stuff. So that's more variety there. Starro Christ, not sure who that is, but his face looks familiar, so I probably know who he is. But Lil Curbs, again, known for quite a few things, Mario Maker stuff. Odyssey, we have Linkus, we have Nifsky, the Mario Bros God, Simply Virtual, right? Lots of content creators that are popular, but also lots of very top tier speedrunners. We have a lot of top level fucking speedrunners here, and more. There's more to come, right? I was not invited in the main list here, but I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna get invited. I'm currently actually talking to Ludwig. We've had DMs. Today he answered my DMs, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna be invited at the end, but he is asking me questions, so we'll see. But I don't know. The problem is that I live in Europe, and the problem is two main problems. We have PACE coming up. This event is on May 31st to June 2nd. PACE starts on June 2nd, and my flight for PACE is on the 30th of May. So I already have my flights to PACE. That's the problem. So like, if I were to go, that means that they would have to like reorganize my flights, where they get a flight for me to go to LA, and then they have to like reorganize my flights for PACE, and then I get to PACE on the 2nd later. I don't know if I'm gonna go because it's complicated for those reasons, right? But yeah.
playing too many video games.
Video games.
Playing video games.
One doctor uses the term digital heroin.
Fuck yeah! Yes! Yes! Fucking yes! Let's go!
Last 50, it's going to be our first ever speedrunning event. Here is a list of all the creators who are going to be participating. It's not an exhaustive list. There's more people than this, but this gives you a good idea. And by the way, I just do want to clarify. I know the title's a little clickbait. I'm not trying to compete or take out GDQ. I mean, shit, I'm still going to watch SGDQ when it happens later this summer, but I wanted to do something different. Because I watch a bunch of speedrunning creators, and speedrunning creators are not the best speedrunners in the world, but I think they're really good at like being charismatic and getting people into speedrunning. And ultimately, that's what this is. It's like,
Okay. So we had that was the last like 2 sentences he just said is the concise summary of the point of this entire event. Those 2 things he last said.
getting people at like being charismatic. And speedrunning creators are not the best speedrunners in the world, but I think they're really good at like being charismatic and getting people into speedrunning. And ultimately,
Right. So basically what he said is, like I said, it's the point of this entire event. These people are speedrun creators. They're charismatic, they're popular, and they attract people to their speedrunning creations. A lot of people's complaints on Twitter, we're probably going to check it out a bit, are people kind of going the gatekeeping route, where it's like, a lot of people's complaint is, why did Ludwig first make the initial tweet about wanting to do an event, basically calling out into the community of speedrunning, like calling all speedrunners, I want to do a speedrunning event, basically saying like, reply to the tweet of what you do and we'll see like what we can do. When in reality, at the end of the day, all he did was just invite a lot of the same like big speedrun creators that everyone expected to be invited, right? So people's complaint is that, it's like, well, why did he go through the trouble of making that tweet, kind of baiting people, and then ended up choosing who he wanted at the end of the day anyway? Well, first of all, I can maybe understand that point, that complaint, but at the same time, it's possible that Ludwig has so much people in his head, but to make it easier for them to choose people, he asked people to basically reply to the tweet, and then they could go through and be like, oh, this person, all right, yeah, this person is charismatic and he's popular or whatever, let's get him in. Yeah, let's get. So maybe that's why he made that tweet. I don't think it's that weird, but I guess I could understand the complaint more or less, right? He's gotten more people from that tweet though. Okay, well there you go. Yeah, like, but again, like I said, people like Nifsky. Nifsky is not a popular guy. He's the best Super Mario Bros. 1 player in the history of Super Mario Bros. 1. That's probably why he's on the list. But then you have other people that are not really speedrunners, let's be real, but are super popular and entertaining, that would kind of build a good contrast with people like Nifsky, right? Like Coney or whatever, or other people that don't speedrun much, Critical. So we'll get to the tweets and shit soon, I guess.
that's what this is. It's like getting people into it, you know?
Yeah, so he's saying the point of his video is to get people into speedrunning and raise a lot of money for charity, right? But like, to be honest, I don't know how much this event is actually going to do to get people into speedrunning. So that's my opinion. Why do I have that opinion? Because it is known, not by a lot of people apparently, but I thought a lot of people knew this. It is known, and I've been told this by Twitch staff themselves, it is known that the speedrunning community, statistically speaking, has been and always has been the biggest community on Twitch ever since Twitch's existence. Speedrunning is like the biggest community on Twitch when it comes to viewer numbers and the amount of streamers that stream speedrunning. Speedrunning is, everybody knows about speedrunning at this point. Everybody. So I don't know how much people are actually going to be watching this event that are going to be like, oh my god, what is it? Oh, speedrunning. I'm going to get into this. This looks interesting. Everybody kind of knows about it already. So, I mean, maybe maybe it might encourage people, sure, but the same, I guess, can be said for any speedrunning event, like GDQ, PACE, whatever. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's like, apart from all that, Ludwig is a content creator. He has a team that runs events. He has an idea. I want to run an event, raise money for charity that is based off of speedrunning. Who the hell has any say whatsoever in what he can or cannot do, or does like wants or does not want to do? If the man wants to run a speedrunning event, invite speedrunners or speedrun creators and raise money, then who the fuck cares? Let the guy do what he wants. It's his event. Why are people getting upset? We're lucky to have someone like Ludwig and Off-Brand to run events in speedrunning, but then we're so quick to come in and complain about how, oh, it's not perfectly exactly how I want it to be for the speedrunning community, so this is a problem. What the fuck? Like, can you have any other clear example of pure entitlement, spoilt, bratty shit behavior? So ultimately, I disagree with the people on the most part. Is that how you say that? For the most part on Twitter that are complaining, because he could have easily just said, you know what, fuck this, I don't feel like running the event, never mind. Instead, we're complaining because it's not perfectly exactly how we want it to be, even though we're having a great opportunity to raise a lot of money for charity, all these great things. But no, it's still. But then the same people who are complaining, who are the same people that are saying that that support charities and like the whole GDQ aspect of raising money for charity, blah, blah, blah. So then why aren't you happy that somebody is just doing more for charity then? Why is it such a problem? Because people are so fixated on the wording of everything. They're triggered by the feeling of like, he said he's going to invite speedrunners, but he's inviting speedrun creators instead. It's like, bro, who cares? Ludwig is not a professional speedrunner, so he doesn't understand perfectly the language that needs to be used in the speedrunning community. Big fucking deal. You know what I mean? Another point is, how are people actually that surprised? I can't believe people are so surprised that he did invite the people that are invited. Like, is anybody really that surprised that Ludwig invited these people? Did anybody really think that Ludwig would have invited a random bunch of speedrunners that happen to be top speedrunners in the game just because they're top speedrunners, even though they have 5 viewers on Twitch? No, because that makes no business sense whatsoever. It doesn't make sense. He would lose a lot of potential in his event if he just invited speedrunners for the sake of being a top speedrunner. Obviously, he's going to invite at least a few big creators that are going to make the event have a lot more viewership, attention, which would then in turn bring more people into speedrunning. Like, there's a lot of entitlement in this community. There's so much. The idea that I've been speedrunning for 10 years, but I only have around 10 viewers on Twitch, but I deserve more. I deserve to be in this event because I've been speedrunning for 10 years. That is not how it works. I'm brother man, sister lady, whoever you are. It doesn't work like that. That's not how life is. Just because you've been doing something for 10 years doesn't mean shit when it comes to being invited to an event. That's not how it works.
Just who might not know about like a Elden Ring speedrun or a Mr. Krabs Does Ketamine speedrun. You know, little goofy fun shit. Maybe bingo, 1v1s, or all other types of speedrunning stuff. We have a lot of it planned, and maybe even some IRL shit, like Jerma eating hot dogs for one.
Pooh said the exact same thing today. Yeah. Pooh's a smart guy. Pooh Bear is very, very smart when it comes to business stuff, marketing. He understands the community very well. He's been around for a long time. Pooh Bear has been through a lot of weird shit, though. I'm not really sure whatever came out of those situations involving Pooh Bear, but all I can say is that there was a lot of weird stuff. But other than that, I mean, Pooh Bear, I think Pooh Bear has only done good for the speedrunning community overall.
hour straight in a room by
For the
himself.
most part.
And this event that we're going to be doing is called Fast 50 because it's 50 hours long. It's going to start May 31st and end June 2nd. And we have a bunch of content planned in between with all those creators, while we are having one singular goal of raising as much money possible for Wings of Life charity, which basically helps people with spinal cord injuries, and No Kid Hungry, a charity I've worked with many, many times in the past, who's trying to stop hunger in the United States for children, which is a very pervasive problem. You can check out both these charities on Charity Navigator. I want to be very transparent. They're both 4 stars, which is the highest star you can get on Charity Navigator. And right now, we have a website, fast50.gg, that's 50, where you can get a shirt, where some of the money from the shirt goes to the charity, and then also VIP tickets, where a big chunk of that goes to the charity as well. And we have just like a small amount of room for people to come hang out in person with all of us speedrunners. Like, I'm lumping myself in this. I'm admittedly not a speedrunner, but I was a world record holder at one point in my time, okay? And I was the fastest button masher in the world.
All right, dude.
Till Silver Boxer came out of retirement. So if that is sounding like someone like you, and you are free that weekend and you want to hang out for 50 hours with me, and you got $500 lying around, we'll come hang out. I think there's only like 50 or so tickets. And there it is. That's what
Ludwig, how about you give me $40,000 so I can pay off my debts, and then that's it. Then we just move on. How about that?
we are planning on doing, which I'm really fucking excited about. Because ultimately what I've realized is what's the best thing for me to do is a thing that I like to do. And this is the thing that got me into streaming. So maybe it gets some new people to streaming. Maybe it gets nobody into streaming. But ultimately, as long as we have a lot of fun doing it and we're able to raise some money for charity, it's probably worth doing. So I hope to see you guys all then. I hope you're watching live. It'll be on Twitch and my YouTube channel, the Ludwig one, not this one, on May 31st. It's Fast 50, baby. I've announced it. I'll see you guys all there. See you later. I got to go work on it now. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye now. Goodbye now.
Shut up. Love you, Ludwig. All right. So that's what's happening. Okay. Now we're gonna go through Twitter. We're gonna take deep breaths. And we're gonna go through some things. Because why not? All right. Let's see. All right. That Ludwig speedrunning event came out how I thought it would. He's not a speedrunner, so he's not invested in growing the hobby. He had an idea for something he thought he could make money and grow his brand off of. That's it. The call for runners was an engagement bait. Interesting take from the Beast, who is, of course, one of the best Super Mario Maker players of all time and a speedrunner. Okay. Well, that's okay. I guess that is like an opinion that he has that I can't necessarily agree or disagree with. That's like, okay, respectable, I guess. Very happy for and very envious of those who got into the Ludwig event. I struggle with feeling like what I provide to the community would ever really matter. But I will still be cheering you all on. Here's to hoping this event encourages tons of new people to try speedrunning. That's from Zem. Zem is a very established Ratchet and Clank speedrunner. Has been around forever. Good friend of mine. Yeah, it seems as though most of the people keep talking about, well, I hope that the event encourages new people to try speedrunning and stuff. I don't think it's going to really, not that much. I think that's going to be kind of like a minimal thing that comes out of the event. I think this is more focused on what's going to come out of this, more so than anything else, is the money raised for charity. Beast isn't too far off. Yeah, I could agree with that. It's worth noting that he has some. Who cares if more people try speedrunning? What? No, that's what we want, honey. We want people to try speedrunning. I'm saying I don't think that much people are gonna do that off of this event. I don't think that's gonna happen as much as people think. Jcog says, did they really not notice the problem when making this graphic? What? What is the problem? Is it what I think it is? It's all white men, right? Of course. That's what I thought. That's what I thought she meant. Okay. I was just making sure because I wouldn't. Yeah, there's an issue with the event where people are saying that there are no women and no. I hate this fucking term with a passion, and as a brown skinned man myself, people of color. POC, especially when you abbreviate it. Fuck off. I hate that term. I don't know about you guys, but fucking POC, please. Liam is not even a person of color. Stop. He's a white man. He's Asian. That is not POC. He has white skin. He's just a different nationality, ethnicity. What's the word for? But anyway, the thing is, I agree. I'm sure they could have found at least one woman, one female person that probably could have been here, right? But listen, there's I'm trying to think how many again, because he mentioned speedrun creators, right? That was his term that he used, speedrun creators. How many speedrun creators that are female, that are popular, that are very well established in the community? How many are there that exist? Can you think of? And I think that's probably some of the issue here. It's kind of difficult. And not that I'm against it, but there isn't a lot. Belle is not a speedrunner. Okay, let me take that back. She speedruns sometimes. But she's not. First of all, Belle has not been around for a long time. I love Belle, by the way. I'm a big fan of Belle. I love her stream. She has speedrun a lot of Mario and stuff, but she hasn't been around that long. She is not very in the community. When I say in the community of like these kind of people who know a lot of different people. Is it Belle, by the way, or Six, or is it L? I'm not sure. But like, so she's not, and she's also not very popular. You know, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that she's not. I'm not surprised that she's not invited, because she's also not known for her like very high level speedruns. You know, she speedruns, but not. The thing is, she speedruns Mario 64. Mario 64 is a saturated game too. Like, if you're having Mario 64, who are you gonna invite if not Liam and Simply? It only makes sense that those are the people you're gonna look at, right? It's complicated. It's very complicated. It's like, if you are trying to run an event and you want to focus on just the purpose for just diversifying your event and filling that diversity thing of like, we need to add women and whatever, and you would go to all lengths to just include women and people of color, then sure. But again, the whole thing comes in where they need to make sure that the event is going to raise a lot of money, that they have enough viewers, that the money they're investing to all the flights and things for people is going to make it make sense. There's a lot of things that people don't think about. I think a lot of people just jump to the whole, where is the diversity? Where is the women and people of color and stuff? What do you expect them to do if there's very, very few established or popular female speedrunners and very few? Most of speedrunning are white men. Let's be real. And it always has been. It's always white guys. 95% probably of speedrunners are white guys. Like, it's just kind of how it is. I don't know how else to say that. It's not that I'm against any of that, but when I see people tweeting, like, I've seen quite a lot of like, why aren't there any women? Why aren't there any? It's like, well, can you think of any female speedrunners that are popular, well established, have been around for a long time, that could be part of this event? No. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I could name 10 black speedrunners. Or even Latino speedrunners. Maybe Latino. But you know what I mean? I can't name 10. And it's not that I'm not friends with them, I don't like them. It's that there are not many of them. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the deal with speedrunning. Yeah, but Lunar Jump is not popular enough for an event like this. Like, as silly as it sounds, that is just the reality of this kind of event that's run by Ludwig. That is looking for speedrun creators. Again, Lunar Jump, right? Does Mario at a more or less kind of top level. Not that popular. And then there's Liam and Simply, who are almost the best at Mario 64 and are insanely popular. Who do you think he's going to choose? I'm also, yeah, true. That is actually kind of true. Trihex. The thing is, though, is that Trihex has not speedrun for a long time. But apart from that, I don't know. The thing is, too, Trihex kind of, he doesn't get that much viewers compared to a lot of these people. Like when Trihex does his daily streams, he is like a few hundred. Kind of around my size. And look at me, I wasn't invited. I wasn't invited, you know? But yeah. It's very difficult, you know? Like, I understand what JCog is saying and I support her idea. And I love JCog, by the way. I watch her stream quite a lot. But it's like, you have to think about the logistics here. There's so much complication. I feel like women should not be excluded just because they're women. Of course. Like, I mean, that's a, you know. Nor should they be included just because they're women. I agree. And the reason why it's complicated is because in speedrunning, 95% of fucking speedrunners, and even people watching speedrunning, around speedrunning, are white guys. Because, I don't know, white American guys especially. Because a lot of white American guys live comfortably and grow up in a comfortable place, and they can afford to spend time getting into speedrunning, probably. That is just the reality of the situation. You know, like, so it's hard. It's hard to choose to make a diverse event when you're potentially risking losing out on a lot of money going towards the charity, which is the point of the event for the most part, and a lot of viewers and everything. It's like, come on, guys, you have to think. That's not how life works, dude. All right. There's so many retweets on it. Speedrunner girlfriend who wasn't invited to Ludwig's event. That is a really good drawing of a speedrunner girlfriend. That is very funny. It's so accurate. All right. CFG. Dude, there was so many tweets earlier. Oh shit, guys, this is the director of GDQ. Matt Merkel is the director of GDQ, who kind of hates me, by the way, but so Ludwig sets up a charity event. Hans selects a couple dozen streamers, and it is entirely white dudes. Come on, the community expects better in 2024. It completely undermines efforts like Frame Fatales and UBAF. First of all, how does it undermine efforts like Frame Fatales? Frame Fatales is a great event. It does great. What does Ludwig's event have to do with Frame Fatales? What? Also, I think this kind of sums up the problem with GDQ for the past few years that people have been complaining about. Hans selects a couple dozen streamers and it is entirely white dudes. Matt Merkel, the director of GDQ, you've been around for so long, you understand and know the speedrunning community. You know how these things work. He literally helps run the event. He knows a lot about logistics and what it takes to run events and the costs and sponsors and charity money and everything and staff. Like, there's no way you have this opinion. There's no way this opinion is not completely just let me make Twitter happy and keep my profile as positive as possible to the community. You know what I mean? And it's not like we're against what he's saying, but it's not the reality of the situation of a community like speedrunning. It's just not how this works. Oh shit, iMac answered. Y'all are so annoying, and the and more is there for a reason. Yeah, I agree. On top of it, seems like you guys have never heard of marketing. There are people with large communities that would result in higher viewership. Welcome to the game of content creation. Get over it. Well done, iMac. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And that's what we're saying. That is what we're saying. You know what I mean? And it's not like we're against it. And I know iMac. He's a friend of Simple Flips. He's a cool guy. He gets it. And that's the point we're trying to make. All right, so Matt replies, first off, that's called othering. What? What is othering? Chat, what on earth is othering? And it's shitty. Second, you are really going to commit to that position that this stream couldn't be just as successful if they announced, say, a few women? What a lame excuse. Yeah, no, I don't think it would be as and not because they're women. I don't think it would be as successful. It would probably get in less donations, not because of their women, not because people are watching are saying, oh, there's a few women there, I'm not going to donate anymore, fuck that. No. And I feel like that's what Matt is thinking here. No, that's not our point. If the women that were invited were popular and would bring in viewers because they have a good following, then sure. But it's complicated. The problem is how fast this event is being put together. That is another thing too I agree with. I think that Ludwig went way too ham in trying to make this event as early as possible. I don't really get why he's running it on May 31st. It's like a week from now. I don't know why he just didn't give himself more time. I don't know what that was about either. I was really... Forgot. Blood forgot Liam. GTM. Yeah, I'm blind, but it's easy to miss in the sea of white dudes. Oh, God. You see, this proves the whole fucking... God. America's so obsessed with fucking race and color, skin, and all this. You guys, I mean... Oh, my God. You guys care way too much about that shit, man.